So, Boyzone's Mikey Graham, the comeback king. We'll talk to him about dancing on ice. We'll talk to him about Boyzone getting back together in a moment. But first, St. Patrick's Day, being Irish, what's the best part of the year, isn't it?
One of the best days of the year, certainly, yeah. I love it, you know. I'm the youngest of 7 children, so when I was a kid, it was always a real big deal in my house and on my street. I mean, everywhere, you know. St. Patrick's Day, there was just this great communal spirit that kind of opened up, you know, to... I don't know, everybody just wanted to be Irish, everybody just wanted to be happy and get out there and have fun, you know, and that still remains, that feeling. And I love nowadays as a father to, you know, get my kids all done up for the parade and so on and bring them into Dublin City and try and find a bird's eye view somewhere and let them enjoy it as I did as a kid, you know.
Yeah, well, do you remember your first one or the early ones?
I do, yeah. I remember my father was from the city, so his sister still lived there. We lived out in the suburbs, and on the evening beforehand, myself and my 3 older siblings, there were 7 of us in total, but the 3 older than me and myself, my dad would bring us in and we'd all stay in my aunt's apartment in order to get a good early place, an early start, a bird's eye view of the parade, you know. So that was my earliest memories of it. It was fantastic, really was.
It's a good city anyway, Dublin, isn't it?
It is.
I went for the first time last year, and it's a cracking night out, and it's fairly decent in the day too, for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, well, Dublin now is a very different place to what it was when I grew up in it. I mean, at the time I grew up in it, there was a lot of economic and political instability, but now it's just grown into you know, through the economic boom and everything else, it's just a wonderful touristic place to be, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's albeit a little pricey. I tell you what.
Well, this is unfortunately what can happen with the
old euro.
The old euro, yeah. But that said, you'll still come back from Dublin having had a great time, or Ireland for that matter. You know, it really is. It's a wonderful country, and for those who haven't yet been there, they certainly should. They certainly should get over there, because you can. Most times people kind of visit the East Coast, Dublin and Belfast, and maybe down to Kerry or whatever. But there's also the West Coast, which is
get out to Sligo.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Sligo and Mayo, all that side, Galway, the Atlantic coast. It's so beautiful over there, particularly if you get a nice day. So you can enjoy it in a multitude of ways, and you'll always meet so many characters along your journey that it's unreal. You'll never forget your trip to Ireland, that's for sure. And to get some more information on that, people can go to discoverireland.com.
Yeah, fantastic. Do you still live in Ireland?
I still live in Ireland, yeah.
Okay.
Spend a lot of time in London now. London is my second home, but my wife is from London actually. But yeah, no, I love... Home is where the heart is.
Yeah, true. You're absolutely right. But congratulations, by the way, on your recent Dancing on Ice appearance.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Were you a skate? Because that terrifies me. I could almost think about the possibility at a long shot of doing Strictly Come Dancing, and I have done some pro dancing with some of the Strictly people. But putting skates on is a completely different sport.
You know, it really is. I don't know what I was thinking of getting involved in it, I must be honest with you. I blame it all on my wife and kids, because they were the ones who, when they found out that I had an interview for the show, they pushed me into it. They really did. They said, you got to do it, you can't take no for an answer. And I was like, are you sure? Because, you know, my knees wouldn't be the greatest now after all these years of Boyzone, you know, and no, just do it, Daddy, do it. So that was it. My mind was made up, and in I went, gung-ho, and threw myself into it. I think I have the record of falling hundreds of times, and you probably saw the actual big fall that I had. I don't know if you've seen that one on TV.
Yeah, it was nasty, that.
That was some schmack, as they call it, you know. It hurts. It really, really hurts. And it's weird, because when you go out there, you go out kind of all tense and afraid to fall, and the more that you do that, the more you fall. That's why I think kids, when they go out there, they have no fear, and they seem to be really good at it, you know.
It's sickening, actually. You watch these little... It's when I went snowboarding the once, and one and only time I've been on the snow, and I was watching these 7-year-old kids whoosh past at 100 mile an hour, and I'm just tottering about like a newborn animal.
Yeah, because they have no fear, they accomplish anything. Yes. You know, maybe there's some education in there for us adults, but that's really the way it was. But that said, I was delighted to go as far as I did in the competition. I really didn't expect that. I thought maybe, you know, I'd been happy getting to the second or third week. I just didn't want to go out first. But to get to the 9th week, I was very, very happy with that, and I think it was time to bow out gracefully.
There's Mikey Graham. More from Boyzone's Mikey Graham in a moment. This is the latest tune. We'll do this now. BBC, Hereford Worcester at 2:36.
I will learn to live before I die. Will learn to love and learn to try, not to give it all away.
But let's get back to Boyzone's Mikey Graham, and we moved on to talk about how the band actually got back together. How did that decision happen?
You know what, it was an unusual kind of thing. It wasn't something that we had on the cards, though it was something, I suppose, in the back of our minds since the day that we did split up, because we were actually apart for longer than we were together. And I will say that one of the catalysts for bringing the band back together was actually Mr. Gary Barlow, because he's a very good friend of mine. His wife and my wife would be best friends, and he spent a lot of time in my home in Dublin during the time when he was putting Take That back together, and he said to me, would you not try and get Boyzone back together? And I was like, I don't know if we would or should, or if the audience would be still there or so on. So I then seen Take That put back together. I went to see the show in what was then the Point Depot in Dublin, and that was it. I was convinced straight away. I hadn't realised in 8 years or so, or 9 years, how much I'd missed that adrenaline rush and so on. So Ronan, I know, went to the show, I think, the night after me. Anyway, I was on the phone straight away after the show to Ronan, to Keith, to Shane, saying, listen guys, I think now's the time to try and do this if we're ever going to do it. And Stephen also, and everybody was up for it. The time was right. So from then on, I put together some meetings with the band, and you know, cleaned up some of the politics that was going on at the time as well. And everybody decided that it was something they wanted to go further with.
What do you make of Keith being a soap star as well?
A soap star. Well, I mean, you know, Keith has worked very, very hard at his acting career, and you know, I'm delighted to see that Coronation Street they were so happy with him that they asked him back in again, you know. But we enjoy doing the solo projects as well as the band thing. We feel that it keeps us all kind of balanced and happy to branch out on your own and then come back to the security of the Boyzone house, you know. Yeah, and it also, the band enhances the popularity of the individual, and the individual's successes and projects enhances the popularity of the band. So they both work hand in hand, and we're not in any way insecure about anybody doing anything outside of the band either, you know.
Yeah, as long as you're having fun, Mikey, that's
all it's about. That's all it's about.
Look, we've got to leave it there. I know we've got a queue of people waiting to speak to you about. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, and we'll speak to you again soon, my friend.
Thank you very much, and can I just finish off by saying that anybody looking for more information on the beautiful Emerald Isle can just go to discoverireland.com.
And he's right, it is the beautiful Emerald Isle. Mikey Graham from Boyzone.